INFJs are often described as rare and mysterious. They are known for their deep insight, their ability to connect with emotions, and their drive to live with purpose. But what many people don't realize is how much an INFJ can change with age. The quiet dreamer in their teenage years is not the same person you will meet in their 40s, 50s, or beyond. Their personality is not static. It transforms in ways that can be shocking to both the INFJ themselves and the people around them. When INFJs are young, they often rely on their strong intuition and empathy. They see possibilities and ideals everywhere. They want to fix the world, heal wounds, and live with perfect alignment to their values. These traits are powerful, but they also come with struggles, naivety, overwhelm, and even burnout. As time passes, life shapes the INFJ. Challenges, mistakes, and experiences push them to grow. They begin to shift in ways that make them more balanced, more grounded, and surprisingly different from their younger selves. In this video, we are going to explore 6 shocking ways the INFJ transforms with age. These changes might not always be obvious at first, but they are real and profound. From the way they balance their ideals, to how they handle logic, to their surprising growth in social confidence, INFJs evolve in directions that many people would never expect. For INFJs themselves, these changes can feel both unsettling and empowering. Now let's take a closer look at these transformations, starting with the way their idealism shifts into something deeper and more practical. Way number 1. From idealism to pragmatic compassion. When INFJs are young, they are often driven by big dreams. They see how the world should be, and they want to push it in that direction. Their vision is fueled by idealism. They may believe people can change easily, that justice can be quickly achieved, and that their passion is enough to fix broken systems. This strong sense of idealism gives them energy, but it can also lead to frustration when reality does not match their vision. As they age, something begins to shift. The INFJ learns through experience that people don't always change quickly. They discover that systems move slowly, and that even their best efforts may not bring instant results. At first, this can feel like disappointment. They may even go through phases of disillusionment, wondering if their youthful hopes were naive. But over time, they find a balance. Instead of abandoning their ideals, they begin to reshape them into something more grounded. This is where pragmatic compassion comes in. Older INFJs do not lose their sense of justice or their desire to help others. Instead, they become more realistic about how to do it. They stop expecting perfection and start focusing on progress. They learn that small acts of kindness matter just as much as big visions. They may no longer believe they can save the whole world, but they know they can make a real difference in their community, their family, or their circle of influence. This shift shocks many people who knew the INFJ in their youth. The once fiery dreamer may now seem calmer, more practical, even less idealistic. But beneath the surface, their compassion has only deepened. They no longer love others with a vision of how they should be. Instead, they love them as they are. Their empathy grows stronger because it is no longer tied to impossible expectations. Annins. This transformation also brings peace to the INFJ themselves. When young, they often wrestle with guilt, feeling like they are not doing enough to live up to their ideals. With age, they realize that living authentically in small, consistent ways is just as powerful as chasing big, unattainable goals. Their compassion becomes less about changing the world and more about serving people in meaningful, grounded ways. By moving from idealism to pragmatic compassion, INFJs gain wisdom. They learn that love is not about perfection, but about presence. And this change is one of the most shocking and beautiful shifts that happens as they age. Way number 2, developing their logical side. Another shocking transformation for INFJs as they age is how they begin to develop their logical side. When young, INFJs lead with intuition and feeling. They are guided by gut instincts and emotions, often making decisions based on what feels right or aligns with their values. This makes them compassionate and visionary, but it also means they sometimes overlook practical details or logical analysis. In their younger years, INFJs may struggle with tasks that require clear structure or critical evaluation. They might procrastinate on organizing, planning, or problem-solving in systematic ways. They trust their intuition so much that they don't always stop to question it. This can lead to mistakes or frustration when things don't turn out as expected. With age, however, INFJs begin to strengthen their ability to think logically. This growth often comes through necessity. Life presents challenges that intuition and emotion alone cannot solve. Whether it's managing finances, navigating careers, or dealing with complex relationships, INFJs realize they need more than feelings. They need clear reasoning. As they begin to engage this side of themselves, they surprise both others and themselves. Older INFJs often become skilled at organizing ideas, analyzing situations, and planning ahead. They start weighing pros and cons more carefully. They can break down problems into steps instead of relying only on instinct. This does not mean they lose their intuition, but that they balance it with logic in a way that makes them more effective. This shift also changes how others see them. Younger INFJs may be described as dreamy or abstract, while older INFJs appear more practical and grounded. Friends, co-workers, or family may be shocked at how decisively and rationally they can handle situations. It is as if the visionary has learned to become an architect, turning dreams into structured realities. For INFJs themselves, this growth brings confidence. They no longer feel at the mercy of emotions or instincts alone. They realize they can trust their mind as well as their heart. By developing their logical side, they become more balanced and resilient. They can stand firmly in both vision and reason, which makes their decisions stronger and their influence greater. This development often happens in middle adulthood, when INFJs are pushed to handle increasing responsibilities. The pressure of life challenges them to stretch, and the result is shocking. The once dreamy INFJ becomes a wise, thoughtful decision-maker who can combine empathy with logic in powerful ways. Way number 3, becoming more present through sensing. When INFJs are young, they often live more in their heads than in their surroundings. Their focus is on possibilities, patterns, and meanings. They look forward into the future, asking what could be, rather than noticing what already is. This strength in intuition can also be a weakness, because it makes them overlook the present moment. They might miss details, forget practical matters, or ignore physical needs. As INFJs age, however, a shocking change begins to happen. They start paying more attention to the world around them. They notice beauty in simple things, the sound of birds in the morning, the way sunlight filters through trees, or the taste of a well-cooked meal. This transformation is linked to the growth of their sensing side, the part of their personality that deals with immediate experiences. For younger INFJs, this side is often ignored. They may feel clumsy or disconnected from physical reality. But with age, life teaches them the value of being present. Stress, burnout, or missed opportunities remind them that always living in the future is not sustainable. Slowly, they begin to engage with the here and now. This change shocks people who once saw the INFJ as distant or absent-minded. The same person who used to forget small details may suddenly become someone who takes joy in simple experiences. They may develop hobbies like gardening, cooking, or traveling, which require them to engage directly with their senses. They begin to value grounding practices that keep them centered in the moment. For INFJs themselves, this shift is powerful. Learning to live in the present brings balance to their visionary side. They still dream and plan, but now they also find joy in what is right in front of them. This makes them happier and healthier, less weighed down by constant worries about the future. The growth of sensing also makes them more effective in daily life. They become better at managing practical matters, noticing details, and responding to real-world needs. This balance between vision and presence is one of the most shocking and life-changing transformations for an aging INFJ. Way number 4, embracing midlife identity shifts. Perhaps one of the most surprising transformations in INFJs comes during midlife. Around their 30s to 50s, INFJs often go through major identity shifts. They may change careers, pursue creative passions, or even make radical life decisions that shock those around them. In their younger years, INFJs often follow paths that seem stable or expected. They may choose careers or lifestyles that fit what others want, or that seem safe. But as they grow older, their inner voice becomes louder. They realize that they cannot ignore their true passions forever. This realization often leads to big changes. Friends and family may be stunned when the INFJ, who seems secure in one career, suddenly decides to start over. They might leave behind years of work to pursue art, writing, counseling, or another calling that aligns with their soul. Others may move to new places, end long-term commitments, or restructure their entire lifestyle. To outsiders, these decisions look shocking, even risky. But to the INFJ, they feel necessary. This transformation comes from a deep need for authenticity. With age, INFJs grow less willing to compromise on living a life that feels real. They would rather face uncertainty than remain trapped in something that feels false. This boldness surprises many, because INFJs are often seen as cautious or reserved. Yet in midlife, they can become some of the most radical changes. For the INFJ, these shifts are not impulsive. They are the result of years of inner reflection. By the time they make the change, they have already thought through every angle. The shock is not in the decision itself, but in the courage to finally act on it. This phase often brings new freedom. INFJs who embrace midlife shifts feel more alive, more authentic, and more aligned with their values. They may face challenges, but they also experience growth that would never have been possible if they had stayed where they were. Way number 5, balancing inner vision with outward reality. Another shocking transformation in INFJs as they age is the way they balance their inner vision with outward reality. When young, INFJs often live more in their imagination than in the real world. They carry grand visions of what life could be, and they often feel frustrated when reality falls short. As they mature, they begin to integrate the different sides of their personality. They still value their inner vision, but they also learn to work with the world as it is. This process is sometimes called individuation, and for INFJs it feels like becoming whole. In their early years, INFJs may struggle with extremes. They may swing between idealism and disappointment, passion and burnout, closeness and withdrawal. These extremes make them feel unbalanced. But as they age, they begin to harmonize their strengths. They learn to use their intuition without losing touch with logic. They allow their compassion to guide them without overextending. They find ways to bring their dreams into the real world step by step. This balance is shocking because it makes the INFJ appear calmer and more grounded than before. People who once saw them as intense or unpredictable may now see them as wise and steady. They begin to carry themselves with quiet confidence, not because they know everything, but because they have learned how to integrate who they are. For INFJs themselves, this transformation feels like relief. They no longer feel torn between vision and reality. They realize that they don't have to choose one or the other. They can have both. Their dreams become more achievable, and their daily life becomes more satisfying. By balancing their inner world with outer reality, INFJs grow into some of the most centered and inspiring individuals. This change may shock those who expect them to remain idealistic dreamers, but it shows the true depth of their growth with age. Way number 6, Evolving social confidence. When people think of INFJs, they often imagine someone quiet, reserved, and maybe even shy. And in their younger years, that description is often accurate. Many young INFJs struggle socially. They feel different, misunderstood, or awkward in group settings. They may avoid attention or hesitate to speak up, even when they have something valuable to say. But as INFJs grow older, something surprising happens. They develop social confidence. This change does not mean they suddenly become extroverts. They still value solitude and meaningful interactions over large crowds. But with age, they learn how to use their social abilities with purpose and strength. A key part of this growth is their extroverted feeling side. In youth, INFJs often struggle to manage it. They may overthink what others feel, try too hard to please, or lose themselves in the process. With maturity, they gain control. They no longer feel overwhelmed by other people's emotions. Instead, they learn to read the room, connect authentically, and influence with balance. This transformation shocks people who once saw them as quiet or withdrawn. The INFJ who avoided the spotlight may now lead groups, give presentations, or guide discussions with calm authority. They may take on leadership roles in work, community, or family. Their words carry weight because they are grounded in empathy and wisdom. For the INFJ, this confidence is hard-earned. It comes from years of observing, reflecting, and practicing. They realize that social settings are not about performing, they are about connecting. By focusing on meaningful impact rather than perfection, they grow into effective communicators. This evolution is one of the most shocking ways INFJs change with age. They do not lose their reflective nature, but they add a new layer, the ability to engage socially with strength. What once felt like a weakness becomes a powerful part of who they are. The INFJ is often seen as a mystery, someone who is hard to understand and even harder to predict. But what may surprise people most is how much they transform as they grow older. The changes are not small, they are deep, lasting, and often shocking. We've looked at 6 powerful ways this happens. They move from youthful idealism to pragmatic compassion, learning to love people as they are, rather than as they should be. They develop their logical side, balancing intuition with reason to make wiser decisions. They become more present, noticing the beauty and details of life through their senses. They embrace midlife identity shifts, sometimes turning their lives upside down to live more authentically. They balance their inner vision with outward reality, finding peace and integration. And finally, they evolve into socially confident individuals who can lead, connect, and influence with grace. These transformations show that INFJs are not static dreamers. They are dynamic people who continue to grow and surprise themselves and others as the years go by. The shocking part is not that they change, but how much they change, becoming more balanced, grounded, and whole with time. For INFJs themselves, this journey can feel both challenging and rewarding. Each transformation is born from struggle, disillusionment, failure, loneliness, or pressure. But each struggle also carries a gift, shaping them into stronger and wiser versions of themselves. By the time they reach later stages of life, they often embody a depth and calmness that others admire. If you are an INFJ, remember that your growth is not limited to your early years. Life will keep stretching you, surprising you, and reshaping you. The shifts may feel uncomfortable, but they are part of your journey to becoming your most authentic self. And if you know an INFJ, understand that the quiet dreamer you met when young may shock you with how much they transform. With age, they do not fade, they deepen. Their changes are proof that growth is always possible, no matter where you start. If this video spoke to you, let us know your thoughts below. Have you noticed these transformations in yourself or an INFJ you know? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into the INFJ personality and their incredible journey through life.